Hi everyone, I'm Nicholas Djoljevic.
And I am Trever Sepanik, and this is our video submission for our 2023-2024 Senior Design Project.
For our senior design project, we partnered with Heartland Business Systems. We were tasked with fulfilling a statement of work, similar to what would be given to one of their employees. Specifically, the statement of work requires that we simulate the network acquisition and merge between two companies, with one company acquiring the other.
We gave the two hypothetical companies names for ease of reference, one being Wisconsin Cheese Incorporated and the other being Michigan Dairy Incorporated. In order to do this, we first needed to set up two independent networks with a server, two switches, a firewall, and an IP phone. This includes setting up these devices with proper IP and VLAN configurations given in the statement of work as shown on the screen.
In addition, both of the companies share some of their IP ranges. This will result in an inconsistent IP naming schema if implemented as is. To resolve this, we had to perform variable length subnetting in order to ensure that there are no conflicts. So how did we take this statement of work and actually produce real, tangible results?
So we did a lot of things. In matter of fact, there were a lot of problems that we encountered along the way. Some of those problems were actually obtaining the equipment. The equipment took us nearly half a semester to obtain. Configuring hardware that we had never dealt with before. We've never dealt with Cisco UCS servers, the switches, the Palo Alto firewalls, or IP phones as well. We had to design the network that upheld best practices as well. So that included creating the VLANs on the switches with proper trunking and access. We had to do static and dynamic routing. We had to ensure proper configurations on passive lock switches, create IPsec tunnels, create sub-interfaces in the Palo Altos, and also, like at the same time, communicating with our business partners at HBS to make sure that the scope is maintained.
So after tackling all the problems that we had, here's a visual of the solution we came up with. The very first you're going to see is the diagram of Michigan Dairy Inc., or MDI, which is one of the companies that's going to be acquiring Wisconsin Cheese. As you can see, we have the aforementioned switches, firewalls, server, and IP phone. These are separated into VLANs, with the data VLAN being made for the server and the voice VLAN obviously being made for the voice IP phones. We have them being trunked over on a single port over to the firewall. The firewall will then connect to a switch, which will be in between these two networks, and we will have an IPsec over this. So if you want to take a look at Wisconsin Cheese Incorporated, we see much of the same. The IP scheming is slightly different. The VLANs are slightly different. But in general, it's basically an exact replica aside from just the actual names.
So, in conclusion, we learned a lot from our project. We learned how to interact with business peers and clients. We learned how to successfully fulfill a statement of work. We created documentation so work could be replicated if needed. When we were creating the VLANs, configuring the Palo Altos, we had to create documentation so that could be replicated if needed. And finally, we learned how to set up a small network, and that can be scaled in the future if needed if we want to create a larger network.